You know the exact feeling. It's late at night, the glow of the screen is burning your eyes, and your task list is miles long. You have spent the entire day constantly moving, constantly checking alerts, constantly working. Yet as you finally shut down, you realize you haven't actually accomplished anything of substance. We comfort ourselves by leaning into modern hustle culture. We wear our sleep deprivation like a badge of honor, view a simple walk as a waste of valuable time, and convince ourselves that answering emails while watching a video makes us highly effective operators. We treat our minds like software we can just force update or overclock. But we are biological organisms. When we attempt to run machine code on an organic system, we punish ourselves for the inevitable crashes, completely ignoring the hardwired rules of the engine. Escaping this cycle does not require an iron will or punishing discipline. It requires a new operating manual. By aligning our daily schedules with 8 specific brain rules, we can finally work alongside our neurology. Achieving peak output requires us to stop treating mental energy like an endless supply. We have to stop fighting our own biology and start following the brain's internal requirements for rest, movement, and focus. During sleep, the brain executes a rigorous cleaning protocol. Cellular activity sweeps away toxic waste and stress fragments, resetting the board. As you wake, the system is clean but stagnant. A brisk walk breaks that physical inertia, triggering an upward flow of dopamine and serotonin. Those specific neurotransmitters act as immediate fuel. The mechanical action of moving your limbs clears away the morning mental fog and opens up the neural pathways required to process complex problems. Your physical state dictates your cognitive capacity. You cannot simply stare at a monitor and think your way into a productive day. You have to move your body to turn the mind on. By mid-morning, your brain is primed to operate like a high-powered laser. When you lock on to a singular objective without interruption, your brainwaves align, allowing you to process information at incredible depth and speed. A solid line shows uninterrupted focus, while a jagged line shows notifications fracturing attention and depleting energy. But focus has limits. The chart shifts into a rolling wave, your ultradian rhythms. You hit a biological limit after 90 to 120 minutes of peak output. Pushing through that 120-minute mark without taking a 10-minute restorative break leads to diminishing returns. It forces the brain into cognitive fatigue and lowers the quality of everything you produce. Stepping away from your desk is a mandatory requirement to keep your intellectual engine running. It is the only way to sustain performance. Then the afternoon slump hits, and pure logic stops working. To overcome procrastination, the brain requires an emotional spark to override the exhaustion. Tying a standard, boring task to a deep personal reason, like providing for your family or proving something to yourself, directly engages the brain's emotional drive mechanisms, forcing the system back to life. You can accelerate this process with images. Reading a list of goals forces the brain to decode text, which burns vital energy. But looking at a picture or a diagram delivers that emotional meaning instantly, bypassing the slow decoding process altogether. When you review these specific visual cues and emotional triggers every single afternoon, you map those pathways straight into your subconscious. The daily repetition hardwires the behavior, turning what used to be a forced effort into an automatic habit. You don't have to wait for inspiration to strike. By engaging your creative and emotional centers, you can engineer your own motivation exactly when you need it most. As the workday ends, a silent danger emerges: baseline stress. If left unmanaged, the anxiety and pressure from the day continue to run in the background, clouding your judgment and sabotaging your upcoming sleep cycle. You need a deliberate evening pause. Stepping away from the chaos to sit quietly and detach from the noise lowers internal pressure before it compounds. It's the moment you explicitly accept your human limits. Your daily output does not define your worth. Giving your mind the space to detach is what allows it to emotionally heal. Lowering your internal pressure in the evening provides the foundation for the entire cycle. Without this decompression, the next day's productivity cannot begin. Compare that quiet evening clarity to the heavy, draining burnout we started with. By focusing on single tasks and respecting your physiological limits, you stop bouncing between half-finished projects. You produce higher quality work, finishing the day with actual energy left in the tank. High-level productivity feels quiet and centered. It replaces the loud, chaotic scramble of the burnout cycle with a rhythm that fits our biological design. Your mind is a living organism with specific requirements. It is not an infinite capacity hard drive that can be left running indefinitely. The cycle of exhaustion ends when you decide to follow those rules. And the single most effective step you can take to protect your future output is to lock your screen, turn off the light,